Here are some impressive metrics when it comes to ICP that I saw recently. Now, nothing I say is financial advice. However, Dfinity, they made a post regarding an update when it comes to this. So it was announced how not that long ago, the new canister growth, or should I say the new canisters growth, plural, it reached 58,000 by February, which I think is absolutely impressive. Furthermore, allegedly, canister state in regard to that, there was a 50% increase from roughly 8 terabytes in July 2025 to over 12 terabytes by February 2026. Pretty impressive. And I think those metrics right there, or should I say those statistics, look wonderful, amazing, and fantastic in terms of the fundamentals. Now, you want to know something that isn't so amazing? And that's, of course, the price when it comes to ICP, which, granted, it's well below $3 as of right now. There's been a pullback yet again when it comes to the space, but here's the way to take a look at it. I actually don't mind this because my intent is to think about this in a long-term point of view. I'm not saying one way of thinking is correct or not. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just going to explain how I feel about this, right? My thing is, I don't necessarily care about ICP in a way where I am focused so much in the short term. I care about ICP in a way where I think about the long term, right? Because I'm just dollar cost averaging once a month. That's it. It's just kind of like a do it and forget it type of mindset in a way where I just dollar cost average once a month and then that's it. You know, I'm not obsessed over what goes on every couple minutes or every couple days. That's not my mindset. What I do is I just think about it more like a marathon. So yes, in the short term, things may not look good, but I'm thinking about what could this maybe be moving forward. I might have to wait years. Who knows, right? I don't know how long I'm going to have to wait, but I'm saying if ICP goes lower, my routine stays the same because I have more of a long-term conviction when it comes to ICP. Now, if my intent was to exit, of course, it would not be such a good thing, right? But that's not my intent. My intent is literally to accumulate once a month and slowly but surely do it over an extended period of time and seeing what happens. That's it. I'm just holding, right? You know how in real life sometimes people dollar cost average into gold. There could be ups, there could be downs, but they're just treating it like a routine. However, I take that exact same principle and I just apply it here, where some others again may dollar cost average into gold, the S&P 500 or something like that. But to me, I just treat ICP alongside some other projects too. Of course, I don't only just hold this, but I'm saying I just treat it like that. So I treat it like a routine. That's the way to take a look at it. So it might be a differentiating mindset, right? While some others out there may think that ICP is not looking good whatsoever, I treat it as a thing where I actually like it, temporarily speaking, if it did go a little bit lower because I'm looking to accumulate, right? I'm looking to dollar cost average. So again, if ICP hypothetically goes a little bit lower, yeah, I'll still dollar cost average. And if anything, I'd be happier dollar cost averaging at those moments because, you know, I treat it like a routine. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do anything and I don't have to do this, right? This is all voluntary, personally on my part. But if I could accumulate hypothetically at a lower point than before, why would I complain? You know, I was gladly dollar cost averaging into ICP at like around $5, even well above that as well. So if I'm dollar cost averaging right now, whereas I didn't mind before when it was way higher, I don't know why I'd complain actually because it's like bringing the average down basically. This is just my mindset. So yes, some people out there, they may not think ICP's looking good, which again, in terms of the charts purely, it's not the best, but I also take a look at the fundamentals, right? I don't think fundamentally it became worse or anything like that. I think if anything, it's actually improving fundamentally. This is the way to take a look at it. Keep in mind, Mission 70 just recently passed. In case someone is wondering, what is that? Mission 70 is literally a strategic plan to cut ICP inflation by 70% by the end of this year. Let's just think about that. 70%. We're not talking about, oh, it's just 10%, 20%. Even like 40 or 50% would be considered like super impressive, but we're talking about 70% here. By the end of this year, not by the end of 2035, 2045, no. By the end of this year, supposedly, again, a strategic plan to cut ICP inflation by 70% was recently passed. So it recently basically, again, passed, right? Which I don't know why people like to say it's such a bad thing, but how? You know, how can it be a bad thing? If anything, I think it could only mean, I guess, as kind of a good thing, right, when it comes to the future of ICP. So as of right now, I mean, I'm not necessarily worried when it comes to ICP. A bunch of projects are having a pullback. It's not only just ICP. Like for instance, ICP, despite this pullback, by the way, right, is currently ranked 50th in the world in terms of market cap. Keep in mind, that is still the case as of right now. So if we take a look at like 51 and beyond, we're talking about like all the way up until like the 1000th ranked project, 1500th, 2000th, and so on, right? If ICP is considered doing so bad, right, won't all those other projects beyond like the 50th ranked, wouldn't they be considered as like even worse in terms of how they're kind of performing, arguably, if that is the lens, even if we want to take a look at it that way? Because if ICP is considered to be so bad, yet it's 50th in the world, so that means what? The 51st is doing slightly worse, right? In which case, if we take a look at this, right, just for instance, let's just actually take a look at who is the 51st project in the world as of right now within this space. If we take a look at that, well, it's like a stable coin. Let's just not talk about that. So yeah, let's just skip that part because it's not really like comparable when it comes to ICP. But besides that, let's take a look at Render. You know, Render is ranked 56 in the world. If I take a look at the chart when it comes to Render and I literally compare it to ICP, they did have good moments, you know, not that long ago, but now we're having a pullback. So if ICP is quote unquote cooked, would Render be cooked? Let's just think about this, right? Render literally has over 200,000 holders. For simplicity's sake, let's just say we assume 200,000. So are we saying that a project of that size is so bad like that? No, I mean, again, there's literally around 200,000 people out there in the world, allegedly, who might still have conviction when it comes to that, right? So when I take a look at, let's say in the case of ICP, ICP is actually a little bit bigger than Render. Render is actually ranked around 56 in the world. Again, ICP is 50th. So what, randomly ICP is cooked but Render is not? Like Render is actually smaller in terms of market cap when it comes to ICP, right? It has slightly less popularity when compared to ICP. So how does that make sense? ICP is cooked, but then a project that's smaller than it, less popular than it, is not cooked suddenly? No, I mean, this is just like a pattern in which case we see a lot of projects out there experiencing this, right? It's not only just an isolated event where ICP is the only one having a pullback. So I literally have zero concerns, and we're right now over 4 times lower than $10. So like to me, I have no reason to, I guess, stop dollar cost averaging, because if we could maybe go back to $10, it's time for me to celebrate a little bit, maybe. Time to go to Sizzler, but who knows if that could maybe even happen. Only time will tell. I can't control this, right? There's no way I can do anything about this, but we saw $10 not too long ago, but I'm just saying, we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, that's been kind of my thoughts on ICP so far. Hopefully, y'all stay tuned for future updates, and I just want to say thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Willie the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.